It's actually kind of funny because I just learned that I can actually live stream. And I was thinking, I was like, I should live stream this. And then I'm like, I probably shouldn't.
Probably should.
Let me retract that. But so happy to have Kristina from Yia.Mas back on. And you guys might be like, wow, this is a interesting setup. It is. But probably about 2 weeks ago, Kristina and I had a little bit of a conversation, and I joked that we should make this a podcast, and here we are, centering around, and I don't even want to say exactly what it was centered on, but I think for me, what I took from that is like the 2020 like folk tradition and folk music. And, it's funny because I was sort of mulling over how to start this in my brain before actually starting the podcast. And I was like, we should preface that. And I'm going to not say that because we unfortunately live in a society where we can't just have conversations. So there's no need to preface this. I think we're just going to let it fly and let it rock and roll and see where we go.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, let's just rock and roll because this is a conversation that I'm sure both of us have been having with lots of different people. And we were like, let's put it into a more formal container, if you will. And I'll say that what brought it all up, I'll just break the ice, was the what are they calling it? The Island Album of the Summer by Konstantinos Argyros.
Dun, 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 dun. It like needs like the like lights behind it, or whatever that is. Like pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kabanes by Argyros. No, literally. Which, he has himself said is really this album dedicated to the people and the music of the islands. And it's probably not surprising by my tone and Maria's introduction that we're talking about what this album kind of, it irked me. So that's why we started talking about it. I just got to the chase. I was irked.
I think it, I agree. I think it strikes a nerve. And I think for me, and it's a little bit hard for me to even kind of articulate this, but I had a conversation this summer with a really good friend of mine who let me, just based on what he said, think about this in my own world. And I don't know his music from Adam. Like, I really don't even know anything about the guy other than like, he has a nice voice, right? Like he can sing, I can't sing, lovely. Sells out shows, like knows how to get a crowd going.
Totally. Big following in diaspora, which is a
100%.
thread we can touch on at some point.
Yeah. I just think it falls completely flat for me because it feels disingenuous and it feels not him. And I know nothing about him, but that's what it feels like to me, right? Like I haven't Googled his fan page or like looked him up in like bopmagazine.com or whatever.
Bop Magazine. Hey, we used to look at Bop Magazine.
Yeah, that was a thing back in the day.
And so before anyone just starts like ripping us apart, I have to clarify that it's like I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I know we are well aware that he's a pop artist. We are well aware that he's not known for traditional music. So not Delulu. We know that he's making things that are meant to be marketed to a mass audience. And we know that. But then when you're going around talking about it like it's this ode to the islands, it's a bit annoying. And the whole album personally left me with just sort of like a, kind of like you said, it felt a little flat and it felt really performative. It's like you can see the marketing machine working behind the album before the musical elements or the artistry are considered, which is, also very pop music. Like songs literally get written and shopped around to different singers. Like it could be for Rihanna and it could end up with Ariana Grande. Like we know this about pop, right? What's interesting is that he took a lot of songs that are, and again, there's a lot of threads we can go with, but like that are perceived as more traditional, but are like pop island. And then he's saying like, this is an album for the islands. And at one point, I think he even says like, I'm from an island, like this is an album for the islands. But I'm pretty sure his roots, like the island roots he has are from Lefkada, if I'm not mistaken. Please fact check me on that. But I'm like, if you have island roots, like they're not even this type of island music. Like Ionian music has no similarity to this island music whatsoever. So you just see the marketing routine, you feel the like money making machine behind it. And, I'll stop there because there's a lot more I want to say, but I'd love to hear more of your thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree, and I also struggle. Like I see how this appeals to a younger audience. I see how it appeals to older people too, like parents who are seeing their kids be bopped to it. Like a friend of
Mm-hmm.
mine, her daughter met him on his little press tour here, and but to your point, and I think what is irking me so much is it feels hollow. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
it was decided upon for him to do this
Mm-hmm.
because of his stardom and because
Mm-hmm.
of, his whatever it might be. And that to me just it doesn't sit well. And I think like leave it to Barrios, leave it to like the Laras, and even I would
Mm-hmm.
say less the Laras, more Barrios, that it seems like it's essentially like a carbon copy of,
It's literally a carbon copy. Like half of it
yeah.
is a carbon copy of the Yannis Barrios Nisiotica, which you and I both know well was written to take island music and make it more palatable to mainstream audiences at the time when music was becoming commercial in Greece. So I feel like this is probably a good time to mention, like, I, as a child of the diaspora, of course, was like raised quite a bit on that, like, Barrios suite. And before, because I don't
Ditto.
have island roots, yeah, a lot of us, it's like, unless you had island roots or like one of your parents was a folk music nerd, you're not going to know the difference. So later
Yeah.
in life, when I start to personally discover, let's just say more, and I put this in air quotes because I know it's a problematic thing, but like, let's say more real traditional Nisiotica,
Hmm.
I realized like, shit, that's not eukaryotico, like these
Right.
different things. So I
Right.
think that was the moment for me with the album. It was like the eukaryotico sala sala whole Barrios suite where I was like, oh no, we're literally doing this again, like this
Hmm.
again. And
Hmm.
of course he's doing it because that's what he did like at Barclays. And from what I heard anecdotally, because I didn't go to those shows, like people turned up, like the diaspora
Oh, I
went
bet.
wild. And like
Yeah.
I was also raised on that Despina Van the live where she does the
Hmm.
island suite. So I think
Yeah.
for us, and I can't speak for the Greek experience, maybe they have it too, but like for us, it was like really that's what was known. And so I'm just annoyed because it's like, here's this person with like the biggest, probably, I don't know if it's factually, but one of the biggest audiences in modern Greek music. And he has the
Hmm.
opportunity to do something so cool. Like, yeah, put Kabanes in there, which is like veritably a banger. Like, I won't take that away. Like, Kabanes
Yeah.
is fun. I've seen it turn up
Yeah.
at weddings. I've seen it make people happy. Like, I don't want to like
Hmm.
take joy from people. If it makes you happy, like, life's too short and difficult. Like, let it make you
Absolutely.
happy. Put those songs on there, but like, how cool would it have been if he'd like recorded like Sibethera or
Hmm.
a nice, slow, beautiful Icariotico
Hmm.
or just a few more songs that are less from like the Konitopoulos
Hmm.
Barrios pop
Hmm.
island, poppier, if you will, island suite.
Yeah. I agree. And I wish I was a fly on a wall. And it's actually funny because I'm sitting outside on my balcony and there are
There's a
many
fly.
flies or bugs all over me. So I'll probably move inside soon. So if you see me swatting, if you're watching this on a platform where you can see us, that's what's going on. You know, I think when I heard it, and I agree with you, like there are some tracks where even if it's like, okay, this is kind of canned or he pulled this like from somebody else or it
Mm-hmm.
sounds just like this, it does kind of put you in like a catchy mood or it can, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I know people who worked on the record. Like one
Mm-hmm.
of the percussionists is arguably one of the best percussionists, I would say, like, one of the top of our time, Andreas
Mm-hmm.
Papas. And I don't know if he worked on the whole album. Again, I haven't looked this up in Beat Bop magazine. So, but I also wonder, like, what do those people think? Like, how, right? Like,
Like, did they
what?
like it? Or were they
Yeah.
like, screw it, we're going to make money so we don't care, which is like a greater conversation that could be said about a lot of
Mhm.
elements of selling Greece
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, I
No,
have
there's
to do
there's
this.
killer
I don't have an
musicians on the
option.
album. But like
Yeah.
also like I'm not a poptimist, like if you're using music critical terms, like I'm not a poptimist, but I also don't just hate pop music to make myself sound more interesting or intelligent. Like I think that's stupid.
100%. Yeah.
And so you can see where I mean shout out to singing Celine Dion, but like but
Iberos 2025 or
Ipados,
2026.
but there's obviously session musicians and really talented musicians work on these albums. So I'm not trying, nor I think are you trying to like discredit it musically. We're just like, this feels, for an album about the islands, it feels really shallow.
100%. 100%. And sorry that y'all can't see me, I'm migrating inside, but it does feel shallow. And it feels like, to your point, there could have been small but purposeful tweaks that
Yes.
could have
Small things would have gone a long
around.
way to make me be like, respect.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
You had such a cool opportunity. And now here we are again, about to get another wave of like, I'm going to be at a party, because this literally happened to me, and I'm going to hear Kabanes into the fastest Icariótico you've ever heard. And I'm going to want to cry. So
yes,
it just like perpetuates this thing that I feel like, with this undoubtable, and I will own this, like undoubtable resurgence of interest in traditional music and dancing. Like you see it on the internet. Like we're doing well in that front. And this is just, to me, it's like an annoying thing that didn't need to happen, because now people are just going to pick this up. Like the typical bouzouki band that plays like weddings and baptisms is like going to pick this up and just insert here. And that's bothersome.
Yes.
But we should talk about something that you mentioned when we were texting about this, which is why we also, the trend we think he was piggybacking off of from last summer.
Yes. So, yes.
The popization of Doglendi. Yeah.
Yes.
So for those listening, sorry for my voice. Ti amo, ego ya se na ejo.
You have a great voice, Celine. Come on.
This is karaoke now.
Yeah.
And so everyone knows that song, Doglendi. It's by Economidis. It's from Skinusa, from Small Cyclads. Such a talented musician that people like helped him go to study music in Athens, because he came from like a poor family. And we love Economidis because he's cataloged so much island music. He's written, like, he has a great album of like the Amoriana. He is great. He's done a lot of work in like preserving these island tunes. And then he himself has written a lot of music in the traditional style that, I say this, and sorry, I'll own this as a credential. I live on a Greek island now, part of the year. I'm married to someone from that part of the Aegean. And so much, not that you need to have this, but if you've been to multiple panigiris in that area, maybe Paros, Naxos, Amorgos, whatever, you know that a lot of Economidis' original songs have become so adapted into the repertoire that, like, if you didn't know, you might actually think that they're old traditional songs. And so last summer, Doglendi exploded because, well, there's the, like, what's her face? The chick, Yulia, I forget her name. I shouldn't call her the chick. That's disrespectful. The woman who sings it. And then there was the Nikos whatever version.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't know his last name
either.
It's
okay. I can see their faces, but their names, I'm like, it's terrible.
No disrespect to them. Again,
none.
Musical talent, they have lots of it, but they recorded it in a more pop style way. And the song got huge to the point where, like, people brought Economidis in Greece on the news to talk about this song that he released in, I think, 05 or 06 on an album of his original songs. Yeah, actually, 2006 on Geopelactica Perasmata. Yeah, so it's like, it highlights traditional Aegean sounds, even though it's a lot of his original music. So that song, Doglendi, I remember first hearing it at a panigiri, I don't know, like 10 years ago, maybe, somewhere, just hearing it and being like, wow, that's catchy. Like the Matiamu line, really, like, it's stuck in your head. And I also wasn't sure if it was a traditional song or not, because it's played so much in the suite. And so with the grand slam success of that song going viral, we're talking across, in every way possible, on social media, in people being into it, in being played, in being like adopted. Like, a lot of people thought it was a new song last summer.
Yes. Yeah.
They literally thought the song was new.
Yeah. Which is
it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I can't imagine like how he feels. And honestly, I went to a Glendi in Athens, Piraea-ish area with him. And it was actually kind of sad to see, like, when that song came on and he played it like a few times, just the dance floor just got jammed with everybody. Right. And like, cool.
cool.
But like, why aren't you dancing to the other stuff too? That's the exact same step.
Right.
Like it's still a sirto. Like
Right.
you can do it. You did it this way. I wonder how people feel. And again, like a first world problem that we can sit here and talk about this. But
Mm-hmm.
I also think like when that song came on, I didn't sit down because the song, I sat down because the dance floor was like
Got
this and you
rushed.
couldn't move. And you're just like,
Yeah.
that's just not how it should be. Right. And
Yeah. It's like a pop concert and everyone's like rushing the stage for the hit type of
exactly.
deal.
Exactly.
Well, so we both theorized that Arihiro's or his marketing team at whatever record, is it Panic Records that like owns everyone in Greece, or he kind of has his own label now, I think. I don't know. I don't like,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not the person to ask about these
Yeah. Who
details on
knows?
pop, but like,
Yeah.
I think they saw that song take off and they saw an opportunity. And I'm not
100%.
saying, obviously, I know Arhiros was doing the OG Despina Van the Island breakdown. I'm going to give it just a credit to her because I feel like she live made it really cool and popular.
Yes.
Like I've been
And
to
she's
many a
still
show at
good at that.
Melrose Ballroom where like the singer did that. Like it's just a
Yeah.
thing people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they were like, oh, islands are trending. Look, like Panigirya are trending on Instagram. Look at all these Panigiri accounts that are taking off. And that's a whole other
Yeah.
topic if you want to talk about it later. But like, let's capitalize on that. That to me
100%.
is, I think, what bothers me about the album is like that feels like the energy infused into it. And then they're just like, all right, now let's do the Barrios suite. And then randomly throw in like Divayeti. And then also, I think Yanda is on the album, is it not?
It is. Yandana. Yes, it is.
But
He
that
doesn't sound like
isn't
that.
that an Economidis song?
I actually don't know, but I will tell you, like, hearing Zivaeti was not fun for me. That
Oh,
is
his voice
really.
sounds okay. Now I'm gonna be mean. I don't like the way his voice sounds on it. I appreciate that he included it, but I was like, don't try to be deep now.
I agree. And also like do we need a disclaimer on everything? No, but I think slash I know if somebody picks up that album, right, and doesn't know the history behind that song and the like the tradition behind it, the root behind it.
It's such a
think
powerful song. Like I've seen small singers perform that in
yeah.
small settings. Like this one singer, Eleni, forgive me because I can't remember her last name. I'll drop it later because she's worth a follow. And like it's brought me to tears, but in a
And as it
small
should.
room, like at a
Right.
small jazz club type of
Right.
venue. Not that it has to be
Yeah.
something like that. I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but like it's a very serious song.
It is. And that's where people kind of like lose me a little bit. And you know, I understand, like, I don't know, capitalism, let's call it that, or like, I understand
We're
making
all in the
money.
system. Totally.
Like, I get it. And in some ways, and this is not a conversation about good or bad or right or wrong. That is actually trivial. And this is where I get really jazzed up about when people say like authentic versus not authentic. Like, that's such a narrow view to look at something, right?
Sure.
For me, it's like, where is the depth? Where is the connection? Where is the passion? Where is the drive?
Okay.
And yes, I realize that people in roles like that he has operate in a different,
they're a
he
different
is
echelon. They're like multimillionaires and they're like existing. They're not thinking this deeply, I don't think.
and they
I don't
may be,
think.
but
I don't know.
he's a commodity, right? Like his persona, it's like people who sell, I'll give you a totally unrelated example. Bobbi Brown, the makeup artist, right?
Yes. Yeah.
She created an amazing makeup line that many other companies have duped, have taken her formulas of, have whatever, but she created it with her name. So she no longer does anything with Bobbi Brown, but that cosmetic line will always carry her name because of how she created it.
It's like
her
Jimmy
name
Choo.
Exactly is the commodity, right? She has Jones Road. That's her new makeup line, but
she has
people
nothing
don't
to
know
do with
that.
Bobbi Brown. Wow.
Exactly. So he is a commodity. He is a person who is charismatic. He's handsome. So he brings people in. He brings in the fun. Like he's a performer. He's really good at that. There's no discounting that whatsoever. And I think when he performs, you see a little bit more of like his real self. I've never seen him live, but just in clips, like you see emotion from him, right?
Sure.
But I think this is another prime example of and Greece is not the only place to do it. The US does it. Shocker. Like
Mm-hmm.
other countries do it. How people want to kind of bottle up culture to sell it to people who will ingest it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm saying is it can create a very shallow view of
Mm-hmm.
what Greece is. And it's the
They're just trying
same,
to make it palatable. It's like,
right?
take this island stuff and make it palatable and
Mm-hmm.
poppy. Yeah,
Yeah. Whereas
totally.
when you really go to, sure, you may see that. Like you may see, like you had mentioned, like people waving their napkins at, whatever restaurant in Naxos or
Barbarossa.
there you go, or like people breaking plates. I cringe so much when that happens. I cringe. I
Mm-hmm.
cringe. It's just, that's like my personal ick, right?
Yeah.
So again, there's nothing right or wrong, but it feels to me shallow. And when I heard Zivaeri on there, I was like,
You're like, hold
this
on.
is it. I
Let me
lost
take a
it there,
second.
you
Let
know?
me take a second.
Like I don't think if anybody's listening who that was not the right move for me to put that song on that album.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And it's like, I wrote this, and I'm sorry, I'm going to read from something I wrote for a
No,
second
read
because
from
I
it, yeah.
can't put it that way, but I put, it
Tell
presents a
us the
version of
story.
Greece that's immediately recognizable, nostalgic, endlessly festive, and a bit cheesy. And what came up with me to want to read that to you was talking about like the Baros thing where at Barbarossa people do like, they put on like souvlaki, I think, and people wave white napkins, which has nothing to do with the islands at all,
Right.
but like it's a thing.
Right.
Like Barbarossa has
Yeah.
now been like, it's really expensive, whatever. And it's like what people want, what they have in their heads. Okay, so would you expect anything less from a pop star? No, but can I still be annoyed that he had to do that fast?
100%.
And just the
100%.
way he, in the marketing, like the press was so, PR is a narrative, right? There are teams upon teams. Press, I worked in music PR for 2 years. So I will tell you this. Before an album is released, and a lot of you might already know this, so I'm not trying to mansplain you, but like press releases are written and then they are reviewed and revised multiple times. The bigger the artist, the more the narrative that's going to be presented to the public is revised. And so this narrative they tried to present was really like, this is an album for the islands. And then he did this huge press splash in the US. And people were just like, oh my God, it's like made us this album like for the islands. Like, like that was kind of like the narrative coming
Yeah.
out. I even took the time to read a couple of reviews and they were almost like sycophantic. Like they were just
Yeah.
like you can like the album. Like, of course, I'm not
Sure.
saying there's anything wrong with that. Again, I'm not here to tell you what's good or bad or what you should like or what you shouldn't like. Like who is anyone to say? But it was just very obvious that they were like, the diaspora is going to eat this shit up. And then they
Yes.
presented it that way, and they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just,
Yes.
I'm like, the way we got played as Greek Americans, who are like just yearning for connection at all times. And I feel like this album's sort of like pandering to that. Cause like I will tell you right now, living on Amorgos in the summer, nobody's going to be playing these songs in this style at a Panigiri in Amorgos or I don't know, like any of the neighboring islands. Honestly, like people I know in Greece like aren't even really talking about this album. But when I'm in diaspora settings, people are talking about it and they're
Yeah.
playing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, Kabanes is a fun song. My toddler loves it. So I play it for her all the
Yes.
time. She's like, Banes. I'm like, eh. But it's fun. It's like I can
Yeah.
like admit, like I'm not trying to say,
Yes.
ooh, all bad. I can admit like
Yes.
there's fun elements to this album, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like the story of the islands, especially if you're talking about like Cyclades, is really one of like poverty and
Huh?
sailors drowning and
Mm-hmm.
aches and yeah, and like all these things. And so it just feels like this weird fetishization of that because they're like, oh, Panigiri are trending. Doglendi was like a hit last
Right.
summer. Like, we got to do something.
Yes.
Argyros is the guy. Let's do it.
Yes. Yes. I saw a clip and I don't know exactly where this was, so it's probably better, but it was somewhere in the mountains, like maybe, like, let's say like near Arajoba, like probably in that
Mm-hmm.
area just because of where that person was. And it's this really gritty, I'm going to use the word dirty. I don't mean that, but like it was like gritty folk singing. You know what I mean? And it's
Mm-hmm.
this guy has a clarino playing with him. I don't know what else he had, but definitely there was Clarino, and he's singing Toglendi. And
wow.
it
I
was
feel like it's
like,
come this far.
right. And at first I was like, what song is that? Right. Just because his enunciation, the way he kind of put it towards like this saucy, mountainy vibe, I was like, huh, but I'm like, but I still get it. Like people,
yeah.
I
Totally.
understand like why people want to hear that, but
well, and people have always taken like lyrics from certain songs and they get like filtered through different, regional
absolutely.
lenses, many such examples.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean, Sifayeti is one.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
like,
It's so true.
yeah. I think what I find really interesting too is like there are so many accounts on, maybe not so many, but there are people like young people trying to sing, not trying, they're singing in a great way, like the Miroloi from Ipiros, right? And like
Yeah.
some of them I really connect with. And, I'm not necessarily a musician here. So it's more based on, again, I'm very like, my senses are important to me. So if I see something and I agree with it and I feel it and I don't feel like it's disingenuous, I'm like, oh, that's like pretty dope, right? I cannot see that becoming ever a commodity. And if you would have, like island songs have had this happen before because the tunes, if you will,
they're
right,
happy.
can be kind of turned into like a little bit of a beat bop. And if you don't know the language, yeah, Beat Bop Magazine, if you don't know the language, right, if you don't know what they're singing about, it's like, and then it's like somebody translates the lyrics and you're like, cool,
Totally.
It's a juxtaposition.
Palatable.
Right. So
compared to like you said something from maybe Ipiros or
yeah,
like or even like Island with Zambuna. Like a lot of people would probably be like, wait, what?
yeah,
Huh? Like that's
yeah. Give me
harsh,
that. I want to see that on stage at the Barclays Center in like a gritty, like off
Can
Mykonos,
you
like
imagine?
pluck the musicians that Adoni Plattis uses for his sets in HTF and FTF because
yeah.
that's what
They're
I want to see at the
amazing.
Barclays Center.
Yeah. I
Not that I
mean,
don't
look, we're gonna
want to
see
see him,
like
but
I went to the Barclays Center for a couple shows. It was like Tame Impala, and then I didn't go to this because I wanted to. It was like an old friend, and I saw like Dua Lipa. It's really pop stars, And this is another thing about Argyros that's apparently like at Barclays, he went over time and he like bragged about how for like every minute or whatever over time they have to pay something. And then he says this like, but F it, we're gonna do it. And like everyone went crazy. And I think that's like the side also of him that I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I would have been into it if I was there, but it also just seems kind of like
cringe. It's a little cringe.
yes, it's pretty cringe.
Yeah.
It's pretty like prideful and cringe, But I get it. It's like I don't deny it's like a big deal for a Greek artist to come to the US and sell tickets at Barclays.
Sure.
Like that's a huge deal.
Sure.
I fully am not like, and I know a lot of people would maybe counter us now and be like, well, you should just be happy. He's like making, Greek music like more popular and relevant. I'm like, I see plenty of people who never cared about this stuff reposting panigiri content now. There's so many avenues by which like people are finding these things. I also wanted your opinion. You know that song Tanisyotika Pedia on the album? It's like Tanisyotika Pedia. Okay, so I was like, what is this song? Because I'd never heard it before. And it's literally by this guy, Vangelis Binyadis. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. His father was like a rebetiko singer. And this guy like was in Pirea. And if you listen to the original song that Argyros takes and islandifies, it's not even an island song. It's more like, I don't even know, like basically kind of with like a touch of rebetika. And so it's really funny to me that I'm like, so you guys did dig for things. Like you dug for deep cuts. So don't tell me, oh no, like we couldn't do this. It's supposed to be a pop album. Like you dug for a deep cut that's like not even from an islander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's from like a more slightly popular rebetiko-ish like recording agency. It's just called Tanisyotika Pedia. That song, by the way, I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I don't want to speak on behalf of people, but it's like something that I would just never imagine the islanders I know like being like, cool. I love, we're the Nisyotika Pedia. Like, no, shut up. Like it's just stupid.
I also think they don't think about themselves as one giant Nisi. Like, it's vastly different. Like, I literally, this summer, I went out with someone who I actually don't know where he grew up, but his roots are from Kekira, and also his mom, I think, Mesolongi or somewhere around there, right? So we were talking about Crete, and that's where he did his military service. And he was saying how it was like a shock for him to go to Crete because I don't know, maybe he had not been there as he was growing up in Greece. I'm not really sure, but just he was like, the people were a shock to me, like how different they are. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a span of like this, right? Like a 45-minute flight. That's
right. But like so
Baltimore
different
to Charlotte,
Yeah.
you know?
But
And
Crete is its own country, as we all say.
exactly. So even the thought of like, and again, I'm not saying like, okay, don't release a song because each island has its own identity. I'm not saying that. It's just, I feel like it's flat. And this is what a musician friend said to me this summer as well, that like there are people out there, and I'm paraphrasing, it wasn't said this way to me, so paraphrasing here, who are getting in this game, if you will, because there's money to be made. Right? It's just like when I had this conversation with somebody else when Greek dance videos came out from Greece, right? Probably a bunch of you had them. It was like in the VHS, you open it up and the cover had the title, Island Dances.
Yeah.
Like this. And it was from, whatever it was from, right? And it was essentially the same dance group, maybe some variation.
Pretty much.
Filming themselves in this beautiful space. And you were like, this must be it. That's all we could get our hands on back in the day, other than going to Greece, right?
It's true.
So for some people, this is all they can get their hands on. But to some of the musicians in Greece, this represents a black hole. There's no soul to it. There's no connection. There's
Is this
no
what your musician friend was saying? Like it felt like there was no soul.
Yeah, like there's no understanding of like what you said, like the struggle or the life. It may not have been a struggle that created these songs in the first place. So you can play them, but there's nothing behind it.
Totally. Yeah, you don't have like the real roots to those places either. Now I need to look this up again. Konstantinos Argyros roots, because I feel like okay, blah 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 blah. He was on Fame Story. See, I'm really bad at pop. Like I don't know.
Me too. I
know he was raised in Athens. Okay, yeah. His father was from Lefkada. So that's his claim to being from an island, which is fine. It's like, yes, you are from an island, but you are not from these islands that really are like this musical tradition that you're supposedly sharing,
Correct.
And it lacks any sort of like regional nuance. I mean, not like, again, people are probably rolling their eyes like it's a fucking pop album, but like still there are like opportunities to him to even talk about that. I just feel like with great fame comes great responsibility. And so if you're saying it, if you're just like, I'm making a party album, that's fine. But if you're like, but the problem is him coming out of the gate and saying like, I am making this album of the island. So if you want to claim that, then like own it.
And how
do
awesome
better. And why is Sala Sala on it? Like, I don't.
Right. Like, but also like, to your point, like do better. Right. And again, I realize like we're putting this on him. He is the front face, but whatever, bro. That's what you signed up for.
And why is there Lefteros on it?
I know. I think it was like, let's just bring it back,
let's just bring it back and make more money.
Totally. No, we don't. It's too much. But like, how amazing would it have been if the album was like a recording of people who are still alive in these villages, and maybe he's singing with them, right?
That would be
but what
really
does that
sick.
do? That takes what the record label suits in Greece see as dollars and waters it down and makes it so much harder.
Distributes them too evenly.
But it makes it so much, they're like, Americans aren't going to like this. Greek Americans aren't going to like this. Whereas people like us in the folk scene would like drool over that, right? We'd be like, dang, good job. And if somebody comes out with an album like that, you heard it from me. Okay.
Yeah.
So just remember this little podcast.
We're cheering for you. Yeah, it's like the fact that the second song is this Da Nisiotika Pedia song, which isn't even Nisiotico. And if you listen to the original version, it doesn't even sound, it's like just some like written for more of like a palatable pop audience at that time in the 60s when it came out. I'm like, that's the second song on this album. Like this album is, I'm sorry, it's cheesy.
I agree. I
It's
totally
cheese.
agree. I agree.
And then it's
And
like Yanis Barrios resurrected. And
yes,
Yanis Barrios, we all know that's not your name, but you're from Barros. It's okay. We all know that's your stage name.
right. Which is cool. Like, go
Yeah,
on.
people
And
do what they do to become pop stars. I get it. And that's why like my ultimate take is also like I'm conflicted and people be like, "Well, if it gets the music to people and it's like isn't that good?" And I'm like, "But it's not. It's just going to propagate this overly sped up suite where people put on like a Calamatino beat and dance quote unquote nisiotica. And is it going to be truly a gateway drug to more traditional things? Maybe for like a small amount of people, but
sure.
part of me highly doubts it.
Yeah. Like, what, when, again, and I listened, I was like, I'm going to do my due diligence and listen to the whole
Mm-hmm.
album. And I was talking with John Themelis about this. Like, he posted
Mm-hmm.
about it and I was DMing him because I was just like, I'm careful with what I put online, which I,
Absolutely.
but
As we should be. Scary place out
exactly.
there.
It is a scary place, but I'm going to say something that's going to date me. And I know this is going to date me. And I will tell you all, like, you can find YouTube videos of my dance group back in the day, and you'll be like, Maria, you were dancing to Barrios. You were dancing to Dalada. Yeah, because that's what we
Because
danced
we
to.
all
And
were.
that's what we did at festivals because that's what people wanted to see, right? Like, that is a part of our history
Do you
here.
want me to come here and like out Newport News? Like when I was a kid in Newport News, we did the Fasi Cariotico too.
100%. Everybody
Because
did.
it was the festival and you did
And
the
that's all we
poppy
knew.
thing.
Yeah.
We did the poppy thing too. So that's where it's like, again, this isn't like a this is bad, this is good, whatever.
No.
This is just a conversation for all the
Yeah.
things. And
Yes.
it's like, that's why it's annoying because I'm like, here we're going to have another round, yet another
Yes.
generation where the Greek festival is going to be the Barrios Ikariotiko. And you might say, well, Kristina, why is that a bad thing? It's like, well, that's not Ikariotiko. And it's
Not.
too fast. It's so
Yes.
fast.
It's
If
so
you're doing a
fast.
Greek folk dance performance, and that's the problem is when groups are performing at festivals, they're saying, they usually say we are presenting Greek traditional dances. If you want to say we're doing Greek inspired dances, we're doing a Greek taverna show, go off,
Right.
do whatever, do
Yes.
techno pendozali. I don't care. Have fun.
Hmm.
You're trying to make money for your church. It's not that serious. And like the whole purity culture conversation is like huge. Like, who's to say those things aren't valid because they are the evolution?
Well,
And like they are what is making sense. Like literally my great grandmother was an illiterate village woman and I have an Instagram. Like that's crazy. Like the
yeah.
world is different. So even
Yes.
sometimes what we talk about like preserving can be problematic because it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because you're not a fisherman. Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't hold. So you might say, well, to validate it all, we live in this weird digital late capitalism world. This album actually makes
Sure.
perfect sense. And I would say it does. And I still don't like it.
Exactly. And like, newsflash to the world. One, this is going to be the Omega vibes of this generation. Again, write it down. It's going to be the Omega vibes of this generation. And there were times I can still remember some of the outfits that I wore where you bet you I was doing Omega vibes, Pentosali, and slamming those brakes, like,
Yeah, it was
right? Like,
fun.
but that
It was
was how
fun.
we grew up. And that's
Yeah.
part of our story, our history of
Mm-hmm.
folk dance and its
Mm-hmm.
ingestion
Yeah.
and digestion
Digestion.
in the US. That's part of it, right? We're not going to hide from that.
Yeah.
100%. Like, again, there are
No.
videos of my dance group from back in the day, but that's just what we did. My mom, an exceptional dance teacher. We danced to barrio, we danced to liqueria, like, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what we had back then.
Yeah.
I think what bothers me
And
the
it's not our
most is
fault that we're like diaspora and
no,
severed and didn't know. And even in Greece, there's people that don't know what the heck is going on. Like, it's not like that's a big reason of like why Barrios was a big deal is that we're talking about a time when Greece is entering modernity. So if you lived in Epiros, unless you had
correct.
traveled, you probably had never heard Nisiotika. You just wouldn't. People were extremely isolated for like 99.9% of history. And all of a sudden you've got a radio and all of a sudden you're hearing the
Uh-huh.
Nisiotika by Yanis Barrios. So you could be in La Mia and you've never heard anything. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is Nisiotika. So it's all kind of just like a product of the advancements of technology. And in the diaspora
Yeah.
context, it's like we were just doing our best with the pre-internet early internet resources we had.
Exactly. And I always go back to it's not wrong or right, bad or good. I just think like people can have conversations about that and people can have feelings about it. And listen, if I had a kid who was super enamored by him and was like really into him and, so excited by this song or whatever, right? I'd be like, good. At least it's a
Mm-hmm.
connection to your culture,
Yeah,
right? Like, I don't need you
totally.
out here
Better than
like,
nothing. Totally.
exactly, so I can get that. But I just think I wish it would be, and I'm putting my own perception here. I
No,
wish it
do
would
it.
be easier for some people who are musicians in Greece to like kind of speak up about this and maybe say like that it
Yeah.
feels flat, it feels empty, it feels like it has a hole in it. Like there's nothing behind
Cheesy.
it.
I've heard no one on I'm gonna go to like talk about or care about this album for what it's worth.
Yeah. I mean, I was in Karpathos way early this summer, so I didn't, there were no events going on, but let me tell you, this wasn't what was at the restaurants playing.
No, 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 no.
Maybe it is now. I could be wrong, but
Well, I don't want to like overtake our time, but I do want to say like something on the diaspora thread. And it's that like the diaspora, we have something that is at once, it's like there's like two prongs to it I see. One is the fossilized prong, which is like we're
mm,
mostly, so when I say diaspora, I'm not talking to like Greeks who came over post crisis. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, pre crisis, your parents came before, I don't know, 1989. For me, my grandparents came post World War II, Civil War. So a lot of the diaspora is that generation, give
mhm,
or take. And so they brought that culture and it got kind of fossilized because it didn't continue developing with modern day Greece. Then the other side of it is the actual evolution of diaspora culture that has happened under the festival tent, in the
mhm,
church, at
mhm,
HEPA conventions, at our
mhm.
own baptisms and events, which are honestly
Yeah.
presented quite differently than they are in Greece. Like there's a reason My Big Fat
Yes.
Greek Wedding is a movie. Like we have our own thing. So it continued to progress, but it also didn't. And that's why I think
Correct.
this stupid album is perfect for the diaspora, because it's kind of that. It's
Yes.
like frozen in time, but in like an awkward place in time.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And again, I go back to if it was like, and I'm not a record executive, but sure, sit me in a room. I'll tell you what I think. I'll be like sweating bullets and really
Mm-hmm.
nervous. But if it was like him remaking a few songs and they were different, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Him collaborating with some people who are like the final, you would hope there will be backfill generations, but if people don't pick up the music
Yeah.
and blah, blah, that would be amazing. And then maybe actually singing some songs that if he's not a writer, that other people have written to
Yeah.
give
Yeah. Yeah.
their
Yeah.
song life, right? Like a great example of this, and people are going to roll their eyes, but come at me, is Likeria. She
Mm-hmm.
sings new stuff that
Mm-hmm.
people have written and she gives
Mm-hmm.
it
New life.
life,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like people are still writing stuff for her. So
That's
that's also
amazing.
where I think where it was like such a miss. Like, damn it, you had a really good opportunity.
It's such a huge opportunity.
I mean, no one
And the
asked
truth
us,
is,
but
no one asked us, but we want to tell them anyways. And the truth is, like, the biggest legacy from this album will probably be the song Kabanes.
which if that's it, I'm happier than that as opposed to Sala Sala, Zivaeri. Like, take Zivaeri off when you re-release this in 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
You please don't go there.
Yeah, or don't sing it with like your buzukia voice.
Right. Or do. I don't know.
Or
I mean, some
do.
people might
Or
like it, and
do.
but I would just say look up the song, look up the history
Yeah.
behind it, look up the pain
Well,
that
yeah,
the
that's why when
lyrics
I
have.
heard like this Tanisioti Pedia song, I like freaked out. I was like, what is this? I was like, I don't know what this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Angelis
That
Perpiniadis. Like, I was just like, this, I was like, something is off here. And I was right. Like, it was like a guy who's like, he sang songs by Titani, you know?
right. Right. And you know what? Somebody else who I was talking to about this said, like, did you have such a reaction to the movie Iparco? No.
You mentioned this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say more.
No. I loved it. Do I know all of the music? Katsazidis? No, I don't. Okay. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like I know Dean of Dallas is a huge fan of his and talking about how it was on the record playing every day at the house. That was it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't grow up like that. 100% no, right?
Yeah.
For me, though, again, I go back to those like gut feelings. The film
Totally.
felt authentic. It felt
Yeah.
real. I felt like I was brought into that era through the
Yeah,
film.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's like a lot of it is a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you right now, and that's a beautiful reflection on that movie. And I feel like that movie did a good job at what it set
Mm-hmm.
out to do.
Yeah.
Um, this album does not make me feel like I'm on an island. And
No.
that's my complete, like, you can't get mad at me. This is an opinion. It's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to totally disagree, but it doesn't give me that feeling. It feels like a, like, let's get hyped up summer pop
Mm-hmm.
record type of deal. But like, even the music video, I don't know. I suggest like people go watch the music video. It's like, yeah, it's just not doing it. It's
No.
funny to watch, but I'm like, this isn't like capturing that feeling to me. The
Yeah.
dancing, none of it.
I agree with you. We could talk about that forever because Mia
Yeah.
Vardalos, if you're listening, you're on my no-no list.
You're on
Okay.
my no list.
For the dancing that you put in your movies, it's very
Yeah.
easy to make
So
that look
easy.
way better. In fact, the person who produces your films goes to church where they have a really good dance group.
But didn't reach out to, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
People
I
make
wasn't in that
lazy, no,
boardroom either.
people make lazy, yeah, I wasn't in that part. Why?
I know. Come
I
on,
think
duh.
people just make these decisions that are like kind of lazy and easy and like
Sure.
feed into, I think why, and this is probably the last thing I'll say about it, is it's like when the things are made too that are feeding into the stereotype, and now I'm veering away from Kabanes, but it's like sirtaki type stuff, you know, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, or the breaking of the plates and the waving
Uh-huh.
the white napkins, these things where we feed into the stereotypes of almost the caricature of our culture. I'm personally kind of annoyed with that type of stuff too, because like it wasn't that long ago that Greeks had to work to be taken seriously in America. And even in the EU,
Yes.
we're still not taken
Correct.
super seriously. So when we caricature ourselves, it's kind of sad to me.
I fully agree with you. And I think I see that with like the juxtaposition of it's not even a juxtaposition, but people calling Karpathos like this untouched. It's been touched, like what you
Undiscovered.
said. Yeah, for
Yeah.
millennia. It's a very touched island.
It's very
I
touched.
think I think
People
what
do
you're
that with
saying,
Karpathos. They do it with Amorgos. Oh my God.
right? And they're starting it with Castos, and I'm like, that little speck of beauty where my mom was born, like leave it alone.
Leave
Leave
it
it alone.
alone. Yeah. And don't call it
Go visit.
untouched. Don't call it undiscovered.
Correct. Because it's very discovered. It and
Yeah.
yeah, I could rabbit hole us for a lot here. And Dr. Panayotis League teaches a folk tourism class. And I
Cool.
understand, like, yeah,
I want to take it.
me too. Actually, Patty, if you're listening, can we do like a self-study?
We
Thanks.
audit your class.
Yeah, exactly. We could audit.
Let's audit a class.
Yeah. No homework and just get to listen to the lectures. Sounds
That's the
awesome.
best.
I know. But like, I understand too, like, Greece is a country built on tourism. Tourism is huge. I live in Florida. Tourism is huge in Florida. Like, I get it. And I challenge people to also consider doing better. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what
Just
does
be a
that
little
mean? I don't know.
conscious.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's so many
Mhm.
factors at play.
There
Systemic,
are.
societal, all the big things.
Yeah. And I feel like too, we should kind of close with saying this, like, it's serious and it's also not that
It's
serious.
not
Like,
that serious. No.
if you've got your, you know, Walkman plugged in and you're rocking
Yeah.
this throughout the summer, go on. Do
Hey,
your
we're
thing.
allowed to be critics. You know
Correct.
what? Like, there's music criticism exists for a reason. Again, now, like, the former life where I was a music publicist is talking. Like, we literally used to send albums to critics to get reviewed. When you sent an album to a critic to get reviewed, they might, like back in the day on Pitchfork, like give you a 4 and then you go cry because your client's upset. But like, it's what happens when you put something out into the world. None of us being annoyed with this and sharing our, what I hope is like nuanced personal criticism of it isn't going to like affect his sales or anything. Like, we're not like hurting his feelings. We're not calling him
Right.
names. We're not saying like, you know, Adidas bad,
Yeah.
traditional music
Ugh,
good, like,
good.
like, no. But I think that's something that like in the diaspora community in general, like people just are very quick to get hypersensitive. And it's like, what if you're just allowed to share your criticism? Like, go read some album reviews. Like, people will go line by line and look at an album and like say, I like this album. I like this song. I didn't like this song. I liked three songs that were produced by Jack Antonoff. I didn't like the songs produced by this. Like, that's what art is out in the world to be criticized
100%.
and loved.
100%.
And again, I'll
100%.
close by saying I have watched Kabanes make people happy. It makes my kid
Especially our
happy. I've
little
watched it
pint-sized
make
queen.
She also loves economy, so it's okay. But
Balance.
I've also watched it make people happy at weddings, so I don't want to like kill the little bit of joy we have left in the world. It's like when people say quit coffee. I'm like, no, life's too hard. I'm not quitting coffee. Like there's not enough joy in the world for me to maybe be less anxious. I would rather have coffee.
Correct.
So if you'd rather have Argiro's album, go for it, but please play a slower Ikariotiko.
Preach. Preach. What is it? Snaps? I don't even know. Preach. Yes. Ikariotiko, yes.
Just slow it down.
Slow it down. Slow it down. And I will say, like, kudos to the folks who are in Ikaria, who are posting how people are dancing, because that shit is slow. Okay?
So slow.
It's slow.
It's so slow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it matches the pace of the island. It's like the slowest place I've ever been. And if you want to like edit this out, fine. If not, you can include it. But like, I'll never forget the first time I went to Ikaria, my first cab driver stopped like 3 times because I accidentally flew instead of just taking the ferry. I don't know. I was like young and dumb and traveling alone. Like, it's this era of my life. He was like, I have to stop and check my olive oil and talk to my dad. And I'm like, the meter's still running. And then he like stopped somewhere else to say hi to someone. And then we stopped so like I could get food. Like, they are not like those stereotypes. Like, it's a slow place. And so the fast Ikariotiko to me, written by Yia.Mas was like, does not fit the vibe of the island. I'm not even trying to be like academic here. It just does not vibe.
Yeah. Yes.
And that place, look, that's a whole other conversation that you should talk about probably with someone more studied than I am. But like, those panigiria there have also changed because of the influx of people that are like, oh my God, Ikaria, like hashtag blue zones, like hashtag panigiri. Like, I've been to really nice panigiria in Ikaria, and I've been to panigiria where like you can't dance because so many people are rushing the dance floor. And I've heard from locals, they're like, we don't even go anymore in the summer.
That's so sad.
But that's a whole other topic, so I don't want to derail.
No.
There's still really nice ones. There's still super nice ones. Like, people are at them, but there's some too that you're like, too many people have found out.
Take me to like the hidden spots. Maybe like a little bit sketch where you're like, where are we really going? But then
it's like you need to get like slightly lost on the way there.
Correct. Then you find
I don't mean that in a
things.
cheesy inspirational quote way. I mean it literally.
Yes.
Speaking from personal experience.
As evidenced by trying to find giant fires in Ipiros. We're like, wait, we smell it. We hear it. 20 minutes later, we still haven't found it. Most of us are Girl Scouts too. I don't know.
It's fine.
I'm not kidding. It's fine. We're fine. This was great. For those of you who listened,
having me. Thank you for listening. It this far. Wow.
Yeah. Share your feedback, reach out. But I also think too, like, have these conversations. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's okay to like dislike stuff and say it if you're not like being an asshole about it.
100%. And you can still beep bop to it too. Like, if you get in the groove and you're just like, all right, here it is. I'm here. That's okay. Like,
it's okay. It's not that serious. Like you said, I'm glad you said that. Like, it's really not that. Because sometimes in our folk dance world, people get
a little turned.
A little serious.
Yeah.
And they have good reason. We're trying to protect something, but.
Without a doubt. But I think what we're trying to protect is not something we can really grab onto.